Hello everyone, Brother Yubby here, your coach of the Amherst Accelgors, and here I am bringing you our round 16 match of the NPDA tournament versus my friend, what's his name? Burigo. So, just had to make sure it didn't show the score on there, so not to spoil anything. So, we are facing off against Burigo in the NPDA round 16 match. This is the team that I'm bringing. I'm not going to go over matchup too well or too much. Basically, I'm not bringing Electrode, and I am not bringing Reuniclus. Reuniclus really couldn't do anything against his team. It could have, given the team that he did end up bringing, but there was one Pokemon that he had that I couldn't do anything to. I think it was his Alolan Muck. And Electrode just didn't do well, other than against his own Tornadus Therian. So we both have Tornadus Therian. So I am bringing Tornadus Therian. I'm bringing an Assault Vest variant to take on his own Tornadus Therian, as well as a few of his other special threats. I'm bringing a Mega Sableye, not Calm Mind Recover this time, just Recover, Foul Play, Shadow Sneak, and Knockoff. It's basically kind of a last addition to the team because I need something to start breaking down items, taking items away. And Foul Play is really good against his Mega Gallade. So this is my main Mega Gallade check, because Mega Gallade can't really touch me, especially since I'm max defense. Next, I am bringing a Choice Banded Zygarde. It can break through his team really well with 1,000 Arrows. Once I start getting some damage off on his Donphan, I'm actually able to hit KO it. I'm bringing an Akaberry Lure Celesteela. This is a lure for his Volcarona. I know Volcarona is generally a very, very safe switch into the Celesteela. So this is EV'd to make sure I can take a +1 Z Fire Blast from a Volcarona. So that's very nice. And I actually OHKO it with Rock Slide, given the investment that he has to have in order to outspeed, say I set up a dragon, say he needs to outspeed my Zygarde. So, given the HP stat he can have if he outspeeds my Zygarde, I will always OHKO it. I'm bringing a Life Orb Leech Seed Roserade. This is a really good set in this match. It can really take on a lot of his team. HP Fire for his Ferrothorn, and Dual Stab really hits him hard other than that. And Leech Seed is to kind of get back some recovery from the Life Orb that I might be taking. And last is a Choice Scarf from Mienshao. It 2-hit KOs most of his team, just with Reckless High Jump Kick alone, and then I have U-Turn, Knockoff, and Drain Punch there just in case I want to start breaking with it. So, we will now jump right into the match. So, we see he has brought Volcarona, Mega Gallade, Ferrothorn, Tapu Fini, Donphan, and his own Tornadus Therian, and I have the 6 that I listed before, and we will jump right into this match. I lead off with my Sableye because I want to get my Mega off, and it matched up well against any of his leads except for the Tapu Fini, so I have a great switch into my Roserade here. He shows offensive there with that, and I get a Leech Seed off, so I'm going to start whittling away at him here. And that gives me a free switch into my Celesteela. He shows U-Turn, and he brings right into Volcarona. This is exactly what I wanted. He Fiery Dances, I eat my Akaberry, I take 36%, and I Rock Slide it and take out the Volcarona. That was the biggest threat to my team, now gone. And here's when I start to misplay. I Protect here, just to kind of see what the Tornadus wants to go for. He Heat Waves. I know I live a Heat Wave here. I shouldn't have stayed in. I should have kept my Celesteela healthy, but I Leech Seed. I'm able to get some back, and I Protect here. So I do get some health back, but I still ended up taking about 20%, which could come and bite me later on in the match. He goes for a U-Turn. It's perfectly fine. He doesn't really have much that my Tornadus can't take care of. The Ferrothorn comes in. I knock it off. He Thunder Waves me, which can be an issue, but it's really not. I mainly have this as a defensive pivot, and I don't really need it as much. I really only need it for the Fini and the Tornadus, and I feel like I can take them out very well. I get double parried, not the biggest of deals. I was just trying to U-turn out anyway, and I get my Sableye in, which means I get my Mega, which means I get a free knockoff, which is really nice. And I actually knock off his Choice Scarf, and this Tapu Fini is now going to be a huge problem because I don't have good switch-ins, especially since he Ice Beamed on my Roserade switch in. I probably should have switched into something else, possibly my Celesteela, but I didn't want to get 2-hit KO'd by a Surf. I Giga Drain. He's scouting very well for basically my moveset, and here I have to switch out and I go into my own Tornadus. There's nothing he can really do to me. Turns out we're actually both Assault Vest, which is kind of funny. We both kind of had the same mentality going into this match of how to prep. So basically, his Tornadus gives me Sableye, gives me a knockoff or foul play. Foul play, if he was not defense invested, was going to do about 40 to 50% to him. If he had defense investment, it's doing about 30%. Here he's reading me very well. I'm making very obvious plays, nothing that really is standing out here for me. And that crit on my Celesteela kind of sucked because I would have been able to kind of stall it out a little bit, maybe get a little bit more health. I'd actually be at a little bit higher of health. But, and there I expected him to double out, but he actually sends up spikes, which is really unfortunate because I was very close to switching into my Sableye there because Sableye took on the Ferrothorn incredibly well. And there I just sack off my Celesteela. I don't really need it around anymore. It's not doing much for me. He Icy Winds my Zygarde. This is another misplay because I don't end up taking the Zygarde out, or the Tornadus out with my Zygarde. He ends up switching, or we end up both switching. I can just U-turn out. I get my health back, which is nice. And I get to go into my Sableye, and that's on his Gyro Ball. He's not going to be able to do anything to me, and he's actually going to let me take down his Ferrothorn here because he's just going to keep Gyro Balling. I can foul play it. Here I just recover up. It's not that big of a deal. He's going to U-turn, get his Tornadus back up to a very good amount of health. And I'm just going to foul play twice and take out his Ferrothorn here, which is very nice. It's one kind of defensive Pokemon that I don't need to deal with anymore. And his one spike is just kind of stuck on the field. So his Finny brings in my Tornadus. And you'll probably see this little interaction a few times. As long as I don't go get full parried there, I'm good, which I don't, which is nice. I get my health back. I go into my Zygarde basically to sack it off. I don't need it anymore. But it does scare out the Tapu Fini. I know I outsped it. I EV'd to outspeed the Tapu Fini, and 1,000 Arrows does a lot. I finally start making some plays. Know he's going to Earthquake there. Here I should have knocked off. I ended up going for a foul play since I'm physical. Or semi-physical. And then a U-turn, he activates his Figgy Berry. Here's where I thought I just lost to this. And he sets up his Stealth Rocks. I was so close to switching into my Sableye, which would have been really nice to get rocks up on his side. But Sableye now comes in here. Sableye walls the Donphan. I don't know why I didn't bring Sableye in earlier, but I didn't. So I'm just going to be able to recover up basically to full health. I pull a double into my Tornadus. I did expect the Finny to come in there. And I can just U-turn on out. He's just getting some residual damage on me throughout this match, but here's what I needed to do. So I'll go back a turn here. I doubled into my Tornadus. I expected the Finny. I know the Finny's switching out, so I U-turn. And big play here is, do I have Stone Edge or not? I don't have Stone Edge. So scary for me, because I can't break this Tornadus without Stone Edge. So I just need to go for a U-turn and hope he's scared of the Stone Edge. And that's what ends up happening. I U-turn out. It's perfect. Gives me my Sableye, which gives me a recover and allows me to be at a very good amount of health to take on the rest of his team. So that was a really nice kind of defining play for me in this match. If he just stayed in with his Tornadus, I lost pretty much right there. He Moonblasts. He double Moonblasts, I believe, expecting me to go into my Sableye. He's now in range of a reckless high jump kick, so I'm now free to just fire up a high jump kick. I blow through the Donphan. Donphan's no longer an issue, and he goes into his Gallade. My switch in 100% of the time is my Sableye. He Mega Evolves and he Ice Punches, which perfectly fine with me. I recover here as he Swords Dances, and my Sableye 100% of the time OHKOs him with a foul play when he is at +2, and that is perfect. Now, I will say that both of the damage rolls that he got there were very low damage, which may come into play later on in the match. It actually does. So I just want you to kind of remember the, 5 or 6% that he missed out on by getting low damage rolls there. So he goes into his Finny. I'm just sacking off my Tornadus at this point and don't need it anymore because now Mian Shao comes in and gets a kill because I OHKO everything. I 2-hit KO the Tornadus, and I kill the Tapu Fini from there. Here, I high jump kick, didn't need to do anything else. He kills me with an Air Slash, so now it's coming down to right here where Mega Sableye against his Tornadus. Now, if he is not invested in special attack, which he can't be considering how well he took that high jump kick, he has to be defense invested, HP invested, and he's assault vested, and I assume he has some speed. So, if he's uninvested, he's going to be doing 25 to 31%. So it is pretty much a 50-50. You see that I'm at 28%. It's pretty much a 50-50 whether I live here or not. But if the Gallade had gotten more damage off on my Sableye, I would not be able to even have a chance to live this Air Slash unless he missed. So my best play here is just to recover, because if he Air Slashes me and he hits and I live, I get back up to about 52, slightly over 50%, which is huge, which means I can 1v1 this Tornadus, which is incredible, and as long as I don't get flinched at inopportune times. So he Air Slashes and I live with 2%, and I recover, and you see that next one did about 27%. You'll see that throughout all of his Air Slashes throughout this time against my Sableye, that 30% one was the only one that would have killed me from there. Foul play crit didn't matter. Shadow Sneak crit didn't matter. I was going to 1v1 this every single time. I was going to be able to foul play, and 2 Shadow Sneaks after a foul play was going to be able to take him out. And we have moved on to the Elite 8 of the NPDA tournament. I want to thank everyone who has come with us this far. It was a great game. I think we both played decently well. I know I misplayed a lot mid-game, and he completely outplayed me. So, great game to Burigo, however it's said. And Mega Sableye comes out on top, proving that it deserves to be drafted, proving why it was a great Mega Evolution back in Gen 6. And since this is the only Mega Sableye in the entire draft, I love saying that I brought it to the top 8. So, thank you very much for joining me. Leave a like, subscribe, do whatever you wish, and I will see you in the Elite 8. Thank you very much, and have a great day.